Hi, Stampers. Kim Wolf coming to you here. This is a penny card that I did for the Auburn Stamp and Scrapbooking show. And I've done this video so that I can show you how to create it at home. So let's get started. So I've got three different options depending on which one you did. And you can always stop this video to take like a little snapshot. But if you turn it sideways, it spins. It's just super fun. This one is a cold one for the old one. Here we've got happy birthday. And again, it's going to spin. This is the straight cut right here. And then the last one, I owe you one or a few cheers. And I tried to make it look like a root beer float. And again, spin. It's just, these are just fun. How do you not get addicted to it? It's hard to do the right angle and show you on the camera. So I've got three of these. I'm going to show you one of them, but they're all basically the same. Put them aside. We'll try to leave that in camera so that you can look at that as I create it with you. What I'm going to need is a pair of scissors, 2 pennies, and something to color with. If you are a Close to My Heart fan, we use the tri-blend markers, and I'm using the gold brown blend and the gold brown shades. And I also thought it would be fun to do the top part of the beer fair skin blend. I also used stickles and I used liquid glass. So if you don't have liquid glass, boy, oh boy, is that something you want. Look at how fun that mug is with liquid glass. And then the stickles, can you tell the mug, the beer top, I did stickles. So, you can add that if you want to, not, it's really up to you, but those are some fun things that I added. So you got a kit, and in that kit, there was a little flyer, and it had a QR code, which got you to me here. I'm actually taping this now so that I can create that QR code. So I don't have that flyer in this packet yet, but clearly it was in yours or you wouldn't have found me. All right, so the other thing we need is pop dots, foam pops, okay? Now I did give you one, and that we're going to use on our penny, and let's do that now so that we don't lose it. So you're going to put that on your penny. It's got a sticky side. Try to get as in center as you can. And then take off the little paper protection here, and then put your other penny on it. And that is going to make our spinning mechanism that's going to make this card work. So we've almost made like a sandwich, like a little Oreo cookie with it. So penny, foam pop, penny, and we'll set that aside. Okay. All right. So we've now got our beer mug, and I actually find it easier to color before I cut it. So I'm going to color that before I cut it. I've got my pieces here, and I'm going to foam pop these up so that it creates this gap in between the card and the paper, and that is going to allow this to spin. I don't think it really matters if you've got this little zigzag up or down, but my ends are down so that you can create it either way you want to, okay? All right, so we've got our sentiment here. Let's go ahead and put our sentiment on our black backing. And when I do these, I usually cut this 1/4 of an inch larger than the sentiment, and that creates this nice little border all the way around the sentiment. Really gets it to stand out on here. And then this, we're going to put here, and then we're going to, what I call clean up the edge with this little piece here. Okay, and that's going to go here. Oh, and this is actually directional, so make sure you turn it around so that you can read it correctly. And this is all from what our paper pack is called Hey Handsome. So we're going to end up putting it on there and like that. So pretty simple process. So let's go ahead. Now this is kind of flopping up on me, so I just did a really light crease on this for you for your package. I want you to take the edge of your scissors and really burnish that edge nice. Get a nice crisp edge so that literally your card stays nice and flat and doesn't open up. Okay, there you go. All right, so let's go ahead and put this on here. So we want to use foam pops. You're going to want to have the same size on both levels so that it lays flat. So I'm going to go ahead and put these on here. Put one in the middle. and on the edge. I don't like to get these too close to the edges because I don't want to see them. So, and it tends to hold my paper up nicer. So let's take the backing off of these. So I have been a close to my heart consultant for about 10 years now. I just celebrated my 10-year anniversary in December. And I, with the pandemic, started doing more and more online classes. And they're a lot like this, where I do the cards with you right online. If you're interested in future classes with me, you probably picked up a card or something with my QR code on it. That'll take you right to my Facebook group. But if you want to stop this video, you can. And this is my Facebook group right here. Take your camera, point it, go right to my Facebook group and ask to join it. Let me know that you were at the Auburn show and I'll be happy to let you in. I post all of my classes there. I tend to do at least one card class per month. I make the card workshop of the month that Close to My Heart promotes. I do scrapbooking classes, and then sometimes I do other paper crafting or a specialty card class. All right, so like I said before, I'm going to put the zigzag down. So I'm going to turn this around. Now, what we don't want is to put foam in an area that my penny is going to hit. So if you want to lay your penny there to see, you'll get some kind of an idea. So I'm going to make sure that this is not going to hit. I do want to not be too skimpy with these because this penny's a little heavy and I want to make sure that this is nice and sturdy for it to roll. And I can see that it's in the center. It's going to basically stay in that gauge. Okay. So you can see I'm making sure it's going to be nice and sturdy for my penny. And I know this is a lot of foam pops, but I want it to stay nice for my project. All right, I think that's plenty. All right, so I'm going to turn that over. And you can actually, it's easier to put your penny in now because you can fold it up. And I tend to do that while it's still not stuck. You can do it afterwards, but then you're bending your paper and I don't want that to happen. So let's go ahead and put that penny in there. And I used two sets to make this. One is called the slider thin cut. So I had these on special at my Auburn show. Hopefully you got your set, but we've got a curve, a zigzag, a little one little curve, and then a straight line. And then these two are little buttons that you can actually use on other cards, or you could put them on the front of that. But I feel like it's going to get covered up, so I did not use them on this. And then the other thing that I used was the Brewed for You. And this stamp set is still available. If you'd like, you can go to my website and you can still get this. Again, my website, same thing. You can go to the QR code, stop it here. It says website. Click on it. It'll take you right to my website. But we've got this, a lot of fun little sentiments, and I used many of them in the 3 cards that I created. All right, so let's keep going here. We want to take off these paper packs, paper backings. Already did those. All right, let's look at this one. And these penny cards, once you've got your papers cut, are pretty simple and easy to make and put together. And I just think the receiver has a lot of fun with these. All right, come on, it's being stubborn. There we go. If you do put your penny on there and it ends up hitting one of these, you can test it by doing the way we're doing this now before you put it onto your paper and make sure it's not. I find a lot of times that the foam pop will pull off right now. It doesn't get too stuck. So as I slide this through, mine is good. Okay. So I'm going to turn this around and I'm going to put this on and I'm going to line that up. And it doesn't have to be exactly perfect because we've got that little piece that we're going to put on afterwards where the 2 papers meet, right? All right. So just make sure it gets stuck in there. And then I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of this. and stick that on. Okay. And I'm just going to go right over where the two of these papers meet, just like that. So that's what we've got going on so far. Okay. All right. And then we can put our cold one for the old one on there. I did it right on center, and I did it about a half an inch into this so that it's behind my little mug of beer that's going on there. All right, so we're going to put that center about a half an inch down into that weaved paper look. Put that on there. And that's it for the card. So now we just need to color our mug, cut it, and put it on there. So let's do that. All right, so I told you that I use the brown, let's see, it's called Gold Brown Blend and Gold Brown Shades. I'm going to start with, I always like to grab a piece of scrap paper and try it on my scrap paper before I put it on here. But you know what? We're going to be cutting off the edge of this so I can try it right on there. It's a little light. See if that's the one. I'm going to be going with the light one first, and then we're going to add some shading. So I'm going to basically color in this whole mug. I stamped this with intense black ink, and then this is an alcohol marker so that the ink and the marker do not, they don't react to each other, and it doesn't create. I did this as white here, but I think I'm going to make this the mug. This time I'm going to go ahead and color it. Kind of like my beer is filling up the handle. I don't know if they do that or not, but it is what it is. All right, now I'm going to take the middle one. This is all different shades of the same color, and I'm going to start to color. And I like to draw it down. And this is just going to add a second layer and create that shading that we're trying to do. And I think when you do some shading with these tri-blend markers, it creates almost like a 3D effect to your project. It makes it pretty cool. All right, so this is what I've got so far. I've got a layer of the light and a layer of the medium. And now I don't want to go too dark, so I'm going to use the medium again, and I'm going to come in from the top. See how we do. And I'm going to go in between. And you can see how I'm getting a little bit of a lighter shade there. Now I can continue to do that with the medium, or I can go to the dark. It depends on what kind of a beer that you're going for. I'm going to add a little bit of dark to the top, and I will show you that up close to the camera. Again, I'm not going to go into those ovals. I'm going to do the handle. And you can see I'm getting some layers going on there. And I'm going to do one more just at the top. Now I did do the shades on the original, so I'm going to go ahead and grab that, and I'm only going to be using the light end, so the light end of the golden shades. Now if you have your own markers, you know, you probably have a system yourself, but I like to definitely put some different colors into this and create this 3D effect. And you can see how I'm getting a darker on the top than the bottom. I'm going to go back to my medium, and I'm going to go into the center, and I'm going to go along just the left edge of this and almost create a shadow on that left side. Okay, I'm going to come in again. And I'm pretty happy with where that is. So I'm going to leave that alone. Now I'm going to go to my fair skin, and I thought I would put a little bit of color. Whoops, that's the dark. That's not what I want. And that's why we check it up here. So I'm going to go with the light. And I just want to add a little bit of color to go behind that stickles. And you can actually highlight and outline the lines, and that'll create something too. All right, so I've got a little bit of color on there. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. When I'm cutting, I like to stay just outside the lines. I don't want to cut into my inked part at all. And that way I don't lose that edge. And honestly, you don't even notice that I've gone just outside the line when you look at mine. Okay. Not even, maybe a 1/16 of an inch outside of it. Just take your time, go slowly. When I'm up around curved areas, I just try to zigzag in and around. Doesn't have to be perfect on every little curve. Letting the paper turn and not my scissors. So my scissors are staying pretty much straight. And I'm turning my paper. And that long area. And then curve it around. So when I use stickles and I use liquid glass, it's always the very last thing that I do. So I'm going to put this on here. I think the best thing to put this on with is a glue dot. And you know what? I don't have one on my desk, so let me grab one. So glue dots come in all different sizes. And I'm going to get a nice big fat one. It took me years to figure out that there was a cheat on the top and you could see what size they were. Don't know why I never saw that, but I didn't. So let's see what we got here. All right. Take this off and put this onto my penny. Right down in the center. And these glue dots are awesome because they just are super sticky. I try not to touch them. Oh, and you know what? I wanted to cut out the handle too. So let me do that. I did that on the original. Let's make sure we get that. You've got some nice sharp scissors. Just take your time. The other thing you can do if you don't like the white showing on the outside is go back with your lightest marker. And I didn't do that on this one. This is white on the edge, but you can go back with your lightest marker and you can just color the outside, that edge, and it takes that white away. And then you don't even see it at all. Let me follow that around and I'll show you what I mean. And it just takes that sharpness of that white away. All right, so now I'm going to stick this on here. I'm going to try to get it on center. The last thing that I'm going to do is put liquid glass and stickles. So I'm going to do the stickles first. This is diamond. And by putting that little bit of color behind it, it's going to showcase it. Oh, let me see if I can get it to the top. I should have had this upside down. There we go. Just like to go around in kind of like circles when I put it on. Stickles comes in a whole bunch of different colors. And when it dries, it's just super fun and glittery. I'll show you that. So that's the stickles. See how glittery it is on there? All right, now we're going to do the liquid glass. Liquid glass, I always put a hairpin on the side of mine because the top will get clogged from time to time. So I like to stick the hairpin through the top. and unclog it. Again, I probably should have done this before the video, but let's see how it really works, right? So make sure that we can get that opened up. And what happens is the liquid glue will get into the barrel of it, and I can hear the air, so we know we're good. And we're literally going to come up here and squeeze it out, and you're going to start to see this liquid, and you can go as thick or as thin as you want, but you do want to make sure that it covers the whole thing. I go all the way in that handle. And it's just going to be a full layer of this liquid glass, and then it's going to look like a true glass mug when it dries. Now, this is going to take a bit to dry because I've got this nice thick coating on here, right? Make it and look and make sure it's all covered. Got a little spot there that I didn't do. I've got a nice thick coating. See how it looks kind of cloudy right now? And that's going to dry nice and clear. And it's going to have this look when it's done. And I just love that on the beer mug. But to show you, my thing is going to slide and it's going to turn into circles. Now, I don't want to do that too much while I've got everything on here and drying. And I'm not going to touch that. So let's let this dry. But when you're all done, this is a penny card. So I hope that you like what you ended up with. When you get your card, you can put anything you want on the inside. You're at the stamp show, so I'm sure you have lots of stamps, or just write something in there. Super fun. This could be for a male or a female. I think it'd be a lot of fun. The paper, though, is called Hey Handsome, and it's really geared toward men. We don't end up getting too much paper that is very masculine, so it was kind of nice that they did this. So all right then. So that's what I have to show you. If you're interested in my classes, again, you can go to my website and you can see what products we have, which is the QR code on the right. You can go to my Facebook group, the QR code on the left, and you can ask to join. I do daily posts. I do Tuesday tips. I teach techniques. I have classes. I talk about the specials that are going on with Close to My Heart, and we just have a good time there. So I hope you think about joining that. I hope you had fun making the card, and I hope you had a great time at the stamp show and got some great deals. All right. Thanks so much, and have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye.